So today, we're going to unpack a really powerful idea, that building real wealth isn't some accident. It's not a lottery ticket. It's actually the result of a very deliberate three-layer blueprint that, honestly, anyone can learn and start using. And we're going to walk through it piece by piece.
But first, have you ever felt like this? You are putting in the hours, you are grinding, working harder than anyone you know, but the needle, it just isn't moving. You feel stuck. So what is the missing piece? What do wealthy people know that maybe the rest of us don't?
Well, here's the thing. It really isn't about luck. It all comes down to structure. The wealthy operate from a specific blueprint, a plan that covers their psychology, their intellect, and the real-world actions. So let's dive into that first layer.
All right, layer one. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here with your inner game. See, before you can build any kind of empire out in the world, you have to forge the right mindset on the inside. A guy named Napoleon Hill famously dove into this, studying the most successful people of his time. And he found their success always began with one incredibly powerful concept.
He called it a burning desire. And this is the fuel. It's not just, I kind of want this. No. This is an all-consuming obsession. It's a definite purpose that you believe in so deeply, with such a white-hot conviction, that it feels like it's already yours. According to Hill, this is the absolute non-negotiable starting point for any great achievement.
So how do you actually turn that burning desire into a reality? Well, Hill didn't just leave it at that. He gave us this incredibly practical 6-step formula. It's basically a process designed to drag a fuzzy dream into the sharp focus of the real world. You get super specific about the number, you decide what you'll give in return, you set a hard deadline, you make a plan, and this is key, you write it all down and read it out loud every single day, twice a day, until it's burned into your subconscious. It's a system for making the intangible tangible.
And this quote from Hill just nails the kind of intensity we're talking about. It's not passive wishing, it's an active, focused mental state, a white heat of desire. That's psychological conviction, that's the engine that's going to drive everything else you do.
Okay, so you've built the mindset. Your psychological foundation is solid. But a powerful engine needs a really sophisticated operating system to actually guide it, right? And that brings us to layer two.
Welcome to Layer 2, the mental upgrade. And look, this is about way more than just memorizing facts. This is about fundamentally rewiring your brain to think with more clarity, more creativity, and way more depth. And in our world today, that requires making a very specific choice about how you feed your mind.
Okay, just look at this comparison. This is the choice we're all making every single day, whether we realize it or not. On one side, you've got the scrolling brain, trained by social media for constant distraction and quick hits of dopamine. And on the other, the reading brain, which builds deep focus and critical thinking. The question is, which one of these brains are you actively building? And this isn't just a feeling, you guys. The effects are totally measurable. Get this. Researchers at MIT found that just by switching to sustained reading, you can boost your concentration span by a whopping 50%. Not just while you're reading, but permanently. It physically changes your ability to focus, which is the one superpower you absolutely need to pull off a long-term plan for wealth.
And this isn't some metaphor, it is hard science. The principle is called neuroplasticity. Basically, your brain isn't set in stone. It's more like clay, and your daily habits are the ones shaping it. When you choose to read deeply, you are literally building new connections, forging a smarter, more powerful brain. Your habits are your brain's architect.
And who knows more about compounding than Warren Buffett, right? He put it perfectly. Every new thing you learn doesn't just add to what you know, it multiplies it. Ideas start connecting in new ways. It's like every book you read makes all the other books you've read even more valuable. This is the intellectual firepower you need.
Okay, so your mind is fired up, your intellect is sharp. But where do you point all that focused energy? How do you actually translate that internal power into an external machine that generates wealth? Well, that brings us to the final, practical layer of the blueprint. Layer 3. This is where we get practical. This is all about the tangible tools, the legal and financial structures that the wealthy use. This is where mindset meets the real world, and it's the critical shift from just being a hard worker to becoming a smart owner.
See, the wealthy don't just have one big pile of money. They organize their assets using this, well, it's like a ladder of structures. Most people start at the bottom, as a sole trader, maybe with a side hustle. But the whole game is about climbing that ladder. Because every step you take up gives you more protection, more ways to grow, and ultimately, way more financial power.
So let's break down that first big leap, from sole trader to a limited liability company. This is a total game changer. As a sole trader, you are the business. If it gets sued, your house, your car, everything is on the line. But a limited company, it's its own legal person. It creates a firewall that protects you. Plus, it's how you can take on investors and build something serious. This one step is huge.
And this right here, this is one of those secrets that isn't really a secret, but it's absolutely fundamental. Wealth isn't just about what you own. It's about how you own it. The wealthy don't own valuable things in their own name. Never. They own the structures, the companies and trusts that own the things. Why? Because a structure can outlive you. It can protect your assets for generations. This isn't just about getting rich, it's about building something that lasts.
Okay, so let's put it all together. You see how this works now? It's a system. The 3 layers lock together. You ignite the engine with that psychological burning desire. You steer it with your upgraded, rewired intellect, and you build the vehicle itself with these practical, powerful legal structures. That is how you activate the blueprint.
So how do you apply this in today's world, right now? Well, here's the playbook. First, you've got to understand you can't save your way to wealth anymore. In this economy, you have to own assets. You have to formalize your hustle into a real company. You focus on where the growth is: digital, agriculture, renewables. And hey, if you don't have the cash, team up, pool your resources. Start small, but start with the right structure.
And if you remember one thing from all of this, please let it be this. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter what your background is. What matters is the blueprint you choose to build with. Because the right structure, it can lift you out of any circumstance and put you on the path to building something real, something that lasts.
So there you have it. The desire, the intellect, and the structure. You now have the 3-layer blueprint for wealth. The only question left is the most important one of all. What are you going to build with it?